I'm Joshua Kemble, and this is my Vloggins. I don't know which one this is, but basically, busy weekend, got a ton done. Am getting further along on my thumbnails type roughs for Two Stories Book 2, which I'm excited about because it's kind of the culmination of the whole story. It's starting to get to that point and talk more openly about my belief, and it's really interesting, and it's been fascinating and cool, and also like a kind of a weird territory to get into. And like the thing I like about Two Stories and working on that, I should also mention who I am. So I'm an art director. I've been that for about 7 years. I've been a professional artist for over 15, and this is the blog where I just kind of talk about my creative process and stuff like that. I'm also a cartoonist on top of all of that stuff, and I make comic books. And right now I'm working on a comic that's kind of a beast of a comic. It's been taking quite a few years to make. But Two Stories, Book 1, is out now from Marcosia Enterprises, and it is available for like a really discounted rate on Amazon right now. So it's a good time to pick one up, or if you have picked one up and enjoyed it, it might be a good time to get one for a friend, or like one as a gift or something like that, because it is at like a remarkably discounted rate. Oh man, my allergies are nuts right now. Nuts, like absolutely insane. Okay, so other than that, I'm heading to work. We're really busy, so that's good news for, honestly, like the last year. Like, we've been busy, but it's just nice in the last year to start seeing things open up again as more and more people get vaccinated. I'm feeling about 110% better than I did probably the last time I posted this vlog. And I had like a pretty strong realization. It's like one of those things where I find that like when one becomes an adult, it's kind of a weird thing, because I think as a kid you kind of have this assumption that as you grow older, it's this building block kind of scenario where like everything, all the pieces start fitting and life starts making more and more sense. And there are certain things that work that way. Like for me, I'm just talking about my own experience, so this might be different for everyone, but yeah, like you start kind of fitting all these blocks together and life starts making sense in some areas. So that idea from when you're a kid about things kind of making more sense as you get older is true to an extent. But then there are other things that are like way more ambiguous as you get older that start to kind of become more wiggly and weird, and like the ground isn't so strong on them. And so I find that like every year or two, I have like this kind of wake up moment of remembering things that I've forgotten. And maybe that's sort of part of the conundrum of kind of getting older, is you get wiser, I think, for sure, because you accrue more experience. So like even in illustration or design or anything like that, like you, as an artist, you probably do level up and get better, and start figuring certain things out, and certain puzzles start being less problematic to solve. It's quicker to identify solutions to kind of design problems and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like I had a realization over the last few days that I have a tendency to delay on things in my life that are really important because of this kind of conundrum of like, I'm a heavy thinker, and I'm really pretty strong at back planning. But because of that, like, I'll innately know something instinctively, like something I need or a call I need to make, and I will second guess it, because I'm aware of the fact, like, I'm old enough to know that I can be wrong. And so it leads for some shaky decisions sometimes, and it's been interesting kind of learning, relearning that I need to have confidence in, like, who I am and what I decide and what I need to do. And I'm glad I had that realization, because I had a moment this weekend where I had a decent amount of money offered to me to work on a big freelance project. And I realized that would cause me to have to put off working on 2 stories, which needs to get done. Book 2, I think it's an important book. And sometimes when you think I don't know, for me, I just have to remember sometimes that there are some things in life that I think are more important than money. And that book to me is one of them, for myself. And so while it's tempting to take like a bigger paycheck, then I probably more, it's not like a giant amount of money, but it's probably more money than I'll see from this book. But I realized, like, I was remembering the fact that, like, often in life, like, I don't regret turning down paychecks. I don't regret kind of turning down work that I don't want to do, in light of something that's art, that's art for art's sake. And that art is valuable. Like, for me, it's valuable. It doesn't matter if it's valuable for other people. At the end of the day, there's, like, and I'm glad if it is, and I'm making it for other people. But it's one of those things of, like, if I just run my life based on, like, kind of any freelance or compelling project or exciting thing that comes my way, I just kind of go yes. Sometimes that can lead to really cool opportunities and really cool things, and sometimes it can really detract or distract from the one thing I should be doing. And right now, I really strongly think and feel convicted that it's 2 stories on my book, because I need to get book 2 done, for my own sanity too, because it's a big story. And I've got 120 something pages to wade through, and that's going to take time. And, like, the more time I pull from it, the longer it's going to be till that book comes out. So anyhow, it was a profound thing for myself just to realize that I need to get better at trusting my instinct. And, like, if I have the thought, and this isn't just with my book, it's just in general, if I have, like, the conviction or thought that, like, this call would be wrong for me, it's probably the wrong call. Or if I have a conviction or feeling like, hey, this call would be right, it's probably the right call. I don't need to kind of, like, second guess every decision that I make. And that's a hard thing to do. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like, for me, it's really a difficult thing to draw, to, like, trust myself to make a decision sometimes, because I see the ambiguity in things. I can see where I could be wrong. And I'm pretty good at picking apart arguments, and playing devil's advocate. One of the downsides of being okay at doing that is it can cause you to appear at least to have shakier ground than you do. And so, yeah, so, like, I feel like it doesn't hurt to try to have more confidence and in my decisions and stuff, which is a weird thing to say, because I don't feel like a person who's unconfident, but it's just one of those things of, like, I could use a little more when it comes to being comfortable with things that I know are right, and like, yes, allow for ambiguity in discussion, but, like, don't be shaky about things I know, and that's something I really need to kind of improve on, so that's basically been one thing I've been thinking about. So that helped me actually turn down the job offer. It was just a small gig, but it would have been a fairly decent paycheck and probably been really fun. But I just I just have to trust my gut on this and finish this book, because this whole book, 2 Stories, has been a process of me really trusting my artistic instincts and kind of making things that I need to make for myself as well as for other people. And you know, it's weird because it's like there's stuff I do for work, and that's art for other people. It's commercial art. But then there's this weird area of art where it's like you just kind of have to express it. Like, you actually have to me, I guess what I'm saying is, like, 2 Stories is a book that, like, I wouldn't feel right not writing. Like, it's something I feel compelled and moved to write. I actually feel like, as corny as it sounds, it's one of the things I'm here for. Like, I feel like it is one of the reasons that I am on this planet, as corny and over the top as that sounds. And so if you feel like, I don't know, I feel like if I really feel that, and I was willing to invest 5 years into it, I can turn down a job or 2 to make sure that the progress on it's getting done. So that's been interesting. I also got just like a ton of stuff that needed to get done around our house done. We went to like the city dump, which was really interesting and cool, just to get rid of a bunch of junk that's been looming in the garage for years. We went to Salvation Army and dropped off a bunch of donations of like toys that Benji just doesn't touch anymore. You know, like just things he's grown out of that have just been hanging out in the garage, or clothes and other things like that. So that's that's been this weekend, and then a lot of like Home Depot trips and like little fixes here or there. I reorganized my studio too, which I would love to show you guys. Maybe not be able to get to that on this Vloggins, but hopefully on one of the ones in the future, maybe on the next weekend one, where I do more filming around the house. I can show off like my new little corner that I do art in, or can do art in. And then I'm just like, I'm feeling pretty darn good. So I just need to remember that, you know, there are scenarios where I'm often right, and I need to trust that, like the fact that I'm often right. And there's a way to do that without being a cocky asshole. And that's kind of that line that I need to learn how to ride better. Because right now, I think sometimes I'm a little, I know this is going to be weird because, like, you know, maybe I seem like a narcissist to people or something sometimes. See, that's me caveating my own statements. But I do think, like, it's okay to be a person who, like, when you know something's the right call, just kind of owns the call. And just lets people deal with the consequences, because at the end of the day, that's what I need to do. And so that permeates a lot of different things in different areas of my life, but it's interesting because I don't view myself as like an unconfident person, but it's been interesting kind of realizing, like, no, I actually need to double down on being confident on making calls. And like I said, it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing when you get older and wiser, and like I said at the top, like you're wiser than you were when you were a kid, and everything was black and white, and you knew all the answers to everything. At least when I was younger, I used to know the answers to everything. I would double down on anything, I would argue to the end of the earth to prove I was right on every topic, even if I was completely wrong. And honestly, in my lifetime, I've changed parties. I've changed belief systems. I used to be like a pretty hardcore atheist, and now I'm a Christian. I've changed my financial habits for the better. I've changed a lot of things based on good, solid, sound decisions that I made. And I guess my point is just trusting that decision ability, especially in scenarios where it's like, if I thought about it a week longer, I would know that my first gut instinct was right, instead of allowing for too much shakiness on that, just kind of being more like, no, this is what I know. That's part of, I think that's an important quality, and it's something I need to work on for myself. And that being said, I think life is full of little things that we need to work on, and we're all flawed and whatnot. And I think like leading an introspective life is very important. Not necessarily one of questioning yourself all the time, but definitely I do think it's good to allow for some ambiguity before being black and white on most things. But still, there's a fine line between sort of being knowledgeable enough to where you allow for other interpretations or ideas that people have as something that could be valid, and then being so wishy-washy with decisions that it's that it just doesn't like benefit. So that's something I'm going to try to work on, and a weakness in myself. And I know it's strange to do a vlog about self-weakness, but I definitely think it's important. I think it's actually good to publicly acknowledge like our weaknesses and our struggles and what we're learning in life, because I think like that can open up doors and gateways for other people to have decisions and have conversations and learn and grow. So yeah. But anyhow, so today I'm heading to work, and then my goal is, outside of like just, not super profound, just kind of basic life stuff that I need to remember for my own growth. Outside of that, I also tonight, when I get home, I really want to patch, like there's like a towel rack that's been in our bathroom since we moved in. And it's in a really weak spot, and so like the screws are really loose on it, and then every time like a towel's put on it, it just starts pulling the screw out of the wall. And it was like very briefly fixed, like 3 years into us living in the house, but now the screws come loose again, and so what I need to do is patch the wall. We took out like the rod or whatever for the shower, for the towels and all that, the towel rod, and then now I basically just have to patch the two holes with a quick ball patch kit, and then possibly like relocate the location of the towel rack so that it doesn't just keep happening over and over again. So that's something that I need to do, and I would like to do possibly today. I also need to, there's like this thing called rug tape, which is really important on rugs on a hardwood floor. I want to kind of put that down so that we don't have a rug that's got slipperiness, because we got a new rug for my work area. So that's boring house stuff, but that's something I might potentially need to or try to do today. There's a huge list of other things that I need to do, but those are kind of two that if I could at least get one of those done. Oh, and then I also need to help my wife do some custom frames for some prints that we've had kind of looming in the garage for a while. And they're really nice prints. Like one of them was like a Charles Vess print that we got at Comic-Con years ago, and I got signed for her as a gift. And the original frame kind of got messed up. And then the other is like another print we got of, I think, Mary Blair. So these are like things that, you know, they're nice things, and I need to help her create custom frames for those. So there's that. So those are 3 things, and I'm hoping to do at least one of them, or at least carve at one of them when I get home. And then on top of that, I need to finish up the thumbnails for I think page 112 for Quarterly Stories Book 2, and maybe even start on Book 3, so that would be good. And then luckily, I worked out yesterday, so today is my off day for working out. I alternate every other day for my workout. But I was really glad to get back to it, because last week, after all the crazy fallout from the vaccine, like, it wasn't really fallout, it was just like typical side effects. But yeah, it was really hard to be able to find a window or a way to get back in my workout routine. So I missed a whole week, and my body was definitely feeling it, and then I'm definitely feeling the workout from yesterday, because I haven't done that in a while. And so the little dark secret of workouts is, if you stay at it consistently, like, it's not too bad, and like you get a little bit of pain, but in the long term you get a lot of benefits. But if it's been a while, like, man, that first time back is going to be brutal and painful. So, especially the next day, which I'm on right now. So yeah, so there's all of that. That's just a little bit of a window of what I want to do. I am really excited about Quarterly Stories Book 2, though, getting done, because it really is, like, it's not a perfect book, you know, but it is a book that is like, I think, a good representation of what I want to do in comics, and it's kind of the type of cartooning and storytelling that I've wanted to do for a long time, and I finally have the ability to do, and a workflow and a process that I'm happy with. You know, while it could use improvement always, it's just kind of a neat little awesome thing. So I'm also just like super excited about a new phase. So I'm hoping once everything's thumbnailed out, that I can kind of move to this new phase, and that phase 2, when I'm doing panel borders and type and stuff like that, goes far quicker. Like, I would hope that when it comes to that, I might be able to actually do more than a page a day. Although we'll see. Page minimum needs to be one of my goals. And then these thumbnails have been taking a little longer than I would like, but it kind of makes sense, because my work times are usually starting very late at night and then into the wee hours of the morning. And so it's like this fine line that I need to ride as a creative, between getting necessary sleep and then also making progress on my own personal work. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. I hope you guys are having a good creative day on your own, and I don't know, I'm curious if you guys have had any like sort of realizations that, while they might be cliche or obvious, you have to kind of remind yourself of every year, or like things about your personality that you need to grow. One thing I love about being an art director, and I liked this about being a teacher as well, there's a thing when you're leading people, and you're managing people, where like whatever your personality flaws are, will become really obvious, and whatever your weaknesses are really get highlit when you're in a leadership position. And so that can be really scary and vulnerable for people, and like also depressing, honestly, for some people, because I think it definitely is gonna peel off whatever kind of veneer you have over your weaknesses and really expose areas that you need to grow in. But the thing I also I also think that's a real strength of being in a leadership position, is when you see those layers and those vulnerabilities, it's always a huge opportunity to improve and to be better, and to get better, and to learn better tools and better ways to become a better person and a better human being. And I think that's really super important. And so that's basically it for my vloggins. I'm hoping that tonight that I'm able to get some progress done. And other than that, we'll just kind of have to see how things pan out. So that'll do it, and I'll see you guys on either a live stream tonight or on the next Vloggins. Bye.